was the one that we should have at least asked, what is the way and so on. And then he said, after hearing that, do you see like you saw like a butterfly on a flower? But this man, the one who was the owner of the brewery in Incheon, he had something, in his heart. So he wanted to find a way out or answer something. So if you saw a flower, then you collect nectar. The nectar, sweet. If you saw, so we have to go back. Let's go back again. And only 3 with this man from Incheon went there and went back. And the old man, after supper, he was sitting in meditation. Okay, sitting in meditation. We come back, Master, he said. Master? What the heck? Master, there's no master. But you must teach us, give us just a few words of truth. And then they bowed, called the 5-body throwing. Your forehead, 4 hands, and your knee. The prostrating. And the 3 guys bowed. And said, you crazy ones, put it down. They heard the same story. Put it down. Put it down. That's all he said. Now, this master knew something was pressing him down in his heart. Put it down, without asking any questions. They found out when this monk opened his eyes, there are like a fiery, sparkling, eyeballs coming out, as if the light of the coming out of the eyeballs of this shabby with the shabby clothes man. The light looks like the illuminating the whole world that much. They were really surprised. But he said, put it down. Don't carry on the heavy thing. That was it. And in his face, even though he didn't, look such a wonderful man, but certainly that is the reflection of the perfectly enlightened, marvelous mind. Won-gak Myosim was shining there. And then these 3 guys looking at him for a while, and then came down. Now, this man from Incheon couldn't forget, drop it. Drop it. Put it down. What does that mean? What did he mean by put it down? And he thought about it for many, many days. And he even got lost his appetite because of the question was so strong. What did he mean? Drop it. I don't have anything to drop. But he told me to drop it. Put it down. And then one day he was enlightened. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes, that's it. And what was he? Oh yes, I have to drop it. If I don't drop it, then I have lived in vain, for nothing. So I have to drop it. And then he giggled himself after getting enlightened. And what was the story? During Korean War, 1950, his wife and his 2 sons were all killed by air raid. He was not killed. You can imagine. His 2 sons and his wife were killed by air raid. You can imagine what could be going on for so many years in his heart. And he saw it right in front of him. His 2 sons and his wife being killed by the air raid. So he was living in agony, and all the pessimism and so on. So his life was really a miserable one, even though he had a lot of money. That's why he simply lived after Korean War every day being drunk. You can understand, drunk and so on. Not a very good life. So drop it. Now we have to learn a lesson. If you have anything in your mind which presses you down, drop it. If it's somebody you hate, drop it. If you love somebody which you shouldn't, drop it. Clean up your mind. Zen mind is no mind. What do you mean no mind? No delusions, no disturbances, no errors, no nothing. That is the Zen mind. And we just read the Grandmaster Sotaesan's Heavenly People. Heavenly people have the mind, which is no mind. Nothing bothering them, as if they are in the heaven. If you can have that mind, you can live the world as if you are enlightened, great Buddhist monk. And you live this world as an amusement park. Have you been to Orlando? I like especially the Sea of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. If you ride, to the enlightened one, this world is like what you see while you ride the Pirates of the Caribbean. I think you agree. So many millions of people live like that with a lot of money, lot to drink and so on. You saw all those kegs and so on, right? And we shouldn't live life like that. The only way you can come out of that kind of life is being enlightened to your original nature. When you're enlightened to your original nature, then the wisdom of your Buddha mind will shine, and that is the life of a heavenly people. Okay, and then the story goes like this: many people simply live with the illusions and delusions, and cheated by what they see and so on, and also they create some kind of a hellish world, when otherwise this world, a wonderful world, a marvelous world, they create. They change paradise to hellish world, because there is something in their mind mess up. So I hope that from now on you can change even hell to a paradise. It all depends whether the light of the wisdom shines in your mind or not. And how can it light the light of the wisdom? Candle. Well, you have to come here often and learn how to do it. And he says, drop it, drop it, drop it, let it go. What shall I drop it? All kinds of false ideas. Drop even this human world in your mind. Do not be attached to the world. If you're attached, that's no good. Detach yourself. Aloof, I mean. Okay? And all those discriminations, all kinds of discriminations, a lot of things. Like you and me, I am always right, you're always wrong. That kind of attitude, you should drop it. Purity, impurity, I am pure, you are impure, you should drop it. All those unwholesome thoughts, drop it. Okay? And realize everything is identical. In what sense? Everything in the world is identical in the sense that nothing has its own inherent existence, empty of inherent existence. Every one of us are like a borrowed money, put in the bank. You may have $1 million. If you borrow that in your bank, it's not yours.